Jerusalem, the heart of Judea, a city that has witnessed countless stories and events that shaped history, a city pulsing with faith where every stone and street echoed with prayers and hopes. People from all over traveled for days, enduring hardships to reach its sacred walls. Their destination, the temple, a magnificent structure, its white stone gleaming in the sun, standing as a beacon of faith and devotion. This was the house of God, a place where heaven and earth seemed to meet, a place of prayer, sacrifice, and hope. Here, people sought solace and divine connection. The air crackled with anticipation. Passover was near, a time of celebration and remembrance. The city thronged with people. Merchants hawked their wares, adding to the vibrant atmosphere. Children darted through the crowds, their laughter mingling with the sounds of the market. The scent of spices and roasting lamb filled the air, tantalizing the senses of all who passed by. Amongst the throng, a man walked with purpose, Jesus. His presence was felt by all. He had come to Jerusalem for the last time, knowing the significance of his journey. His eyes, full of wisdom and sorrow, saw beyond the city's beauty, understanding the weight of what was to come. He knew what was coming. The path ahead was clear, and he embraced it with a heavy heart. Jesus entered the temple courtyard, a place bustling with activity and devotion. He observed the rituals, the offerings, the ebb and flow of faith, the sincere prayers of the humble. But his gaze lingered on a group of men, the scribes who stood apart from the crowd. Dressed in fine robes, they held positions of power and authority, commanding respect. They studied the law, debated its intricacies, and were seen as the keepers of wisdom. Yet Jesus saw through their facade, recognizing the emptiness behind their grand appearances. He warned his disciples, "Beware of the scribes, for their intentions are not pure. They love to parade their piety," he explained, "seeking admiration from the masses. They crave the respect of men, basking in the honor and recognition they receive. But their hearts are far from God, their devotion a mere act. Their generosity is a performance, not an act of love, a show to maintain their status." Jesus' words were sharp, a challenge to those who confused outward show with true devotion, calling for genuine faith and humility. Near the court of the women stood the treasury, 13 trumpet-shaped chests, each awaiting offerings. People approached, some with heads bowed, others with an air of importance. The wealthy made a show of their generosity. Their coins clinked loudly against the metal, announcing their piety. The scribes, watching with approval, nodded their heads. This was how it should be. Large donations meant blessings. It was a simple equation. Give more, receive more. They mistook wealth for righteousness, ignoring the true state of their hearts. Then a widow approached, bent with age, her face etched with hardship. She clutched 2 small coins in her hand, lepta, the smallest denomination, barely enough to buy a single sparrow. She moved towards the treasury, her steps slow but determined. No one paid her any attention. The scribes barely spared her a glance. What could she possibly offer that would be worthy of their notice? Yet, she possessed something far more valuable than all the gold in the treasury, a heart overflowing with faith. The widow dropped her coins into the chest. The sound was barely audible. But Jesus, watching from a distance, saw everything. He called his disciples to him. He pointed to the widow, her act of selfless generosity. "Truly I tell you," he said, "this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others." The disciples were confused. How could this be? The others had given far more, but Jesus explained, The wealthy gave out of their surplus. Their offerings, though large, cost them little. The widow, however, gave everything she had, her last penny, her entire livelihood. The lesson was clear. God does not measure our generosity by the size of our offering, but by the size of our heart. It is not about how much we give, but how much we hold back. The widow, in her poverty, demonstrated true wealth, the wealth of a spirit surrendered to God. Her act was a testament to her unwavering faith. She trusted God to provide even when she had nothing left. Her story is a reminder that true generosity comes not from abundance, but from a heart filled with love and devotion. This reading delves into the profound and timeless lesson of generosity, as exemplified by a humble widow. The widow's offering is a timeless lesson. Her act of giving, though seemingly small, carries a powerful message that transcends time and culture, a challenge to us all. It calls us to reflect deeply on our own lives and the ways in which we can contribute to the well-being of others, to look beyond ourselves and see the needs of others. It encourages us to step out of our comfort zones and extend a helping hand to those in need, to give not out of obligation or for recognition, but out of a sincere desire to serve. True generosity requires sacrifice. It is not about the amount we give, but the heart with which we give it. It demands that we let go of our earthly possessions and cling to something far greater. This act of letting go is a testament to our faith and trust in a higher purpose. The heart of giving is love. Love that transcends material wealth and seeks to uplift and support others in their time of need. Love for God and love for our neighbor. This dual love forms the foundation of true generosity and selfless giving. When we give with a pure heart, we become channels of God's grace. Our actions, no matter how small, can have a profound impact on the lives of others. Our offerings, no matter how small, become a fragrant offering to Him. They symbolize our devotion and willingness to serve a greater good. So let us give as the widow gave, with a heart full of faith and a spirit willing to sacrifice for the benefit of others, with open hands and open hearts, ready to share our blessings and trust in the abundance of God's provision, trusting that God will multiply our efforts and use them for His glory. Together, we can create a ripple effect of kindness and generosity that touches countless lives.